Morning to Madam MUHANANI. Me and my group will present our writer report for today's presentation. We choose Switzerland in our writer report. But first, let me introduce myself. I am INTAN NAJIHAH binti ABDUL, and I will start with an introduction for Switzerland. Switzerland is officially a people confederation. It is a ruler situated at the Union of Western, Central and Southern Europe. It is a federal republic, consists of 26 cantons with federal authorities based in Bern. It is geographically among a people plateau range and also the Jura, while chain of mountains occupies the greater part of territory. Swiss population of roughly 8 million is concentrated totally on plateau. For example, plateau are the most important city and economic centers among Zurich, Geneva, and Basel. These cities are home to many offices of international organizations like the headquarters of FIFA and the most international airports of Switzerland. 2019, IMD placed Switzerland first in attracting skilled workers. Next, in 1099, a new Swiss constitution was approved, but did not introduce notable changes to the federal structure. It outlines basic and political rights of individual and citizen participation in public affairs, divides the power between the confederation and the cantons, and define federal jurisdiction and authority. There are three main governing bodies on federal level, such as bicameral parliament, legislative, the federal council, executive, and the federal court, judicial.
Assalamualaikum. My name is NATASHA binti MUHAMAD. I will explain today about the public policy in Switzerland. Public policy is the process which win an administration by action identified by its constitution, hold things under control or meet the demands of its peoples. Its definition sounds confusing or unclear. It is possible on that basis that a public strategy is not generally an undeniable object, but rather a concept used to describe a variety of rules, order of instruction to set over based on contractual. Since public policies are in order to meet people's needs, they are often divided as they contribute to society into which various groups. There are many types of public policy such as education, housing, and health and welfare. Type of public policy in Switzerland is education policy. The Constitution of Switzerland of 1874 granted each canton or demi-canton jurisdiction over education. Elementary schooling is compulsory, open between age 17 to 16. The Confederation offers financial aid for vocational training, and the cantonal college govern technical exam and affect high school teaching methods. The Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich, which is founded in 1855, and Lausanne are the only institution of higher education maintained by the Confederation itself, which is founded in 1855. The University in Basel, which is founded in 1460, is Bern first in 1528, secondary in 1838. Lausanne were founded in 1537, and Zurich are one of the most prominent institutions in the world, is founded in 1833. Education is governed by the Bern Interior Department, and every canton has a department of education, a blend of alpine scenery, and a teaching and learning prestige of education. Scholars like Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Johann Heinrich Bartholomew has led many private schools in Switzerland at all stages. Education is not only unconventional in Switzerland, but necessary compared with many other countries. The level in education are exceptionally high, as Switzerland itself with a vast range of school from local Swiss school and private school to bilingual school to international school. First, Switzerland has a largely decentralized schooling system. The State Secretariat for Education, Science and Innovation is responsible for 26 cantons. Each canton nevertheless creates and applies its own norm, which can damage families who migrate from one to another area. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is NOOR binti RAMLI and I will briefly explain about public policy in Switzerland, which is housing policy. Switzerland has the lowest rate of house ownership in Europe with only a third of all householders. This is partly the product of the high population density and the limited area of the country, which has flared up the value of land mixed with an unfair. The current degree of tenant security is high. As per the current government law, landowner needs to legitimize the extent of lease increments to their tenants. Lease level can be changed by two primary financial markets. The first market is the supposed lease reference file, which depends on the normal of contract financing costs gave by banks to the entire of Switzerland. Second, rent are changed when a new or occupancy began given that new lease in according to the common lease level seen in a similar zone. Next is public health and welfare policy. The system have developed in a way indicative of federalism. First in the cities, then in the federal state, and then in the confederations. Support for social services, often in collaboration with the federal state, is mainly a collective activity. In 1948, a series of constitutional reform instituted universal insurance, which had existed in some countries. At the federal level, the most important of which was compulsory social security insurance. Social security insurance provides salary and also pension payment to senior citizens, which is men over 65 and women older than 62, to widow, orphan and also invalids, which are funded by donation from employees and their employers, as well as lower contribution from the cantons and from the confederations. Since this law did not cover the cost of living, a scheme of compulsory workplace pensions funded by both employers and also workers was later implemented. In 1985, a public-private pension schemes funded by employers was created, encouraged by tax incentive. The federal employment benefit is covered by the government and also employer investment, while the federal regulatory structure has been set up. The welfare scheme is also almost cantonal, and health contribution differ greatly between cantons. Health provision in healthcare is obligational. Together, the Swiss Confederation and the canton fund the destitute extra income existence. In general, social security costs are significant, making for more than a quarter of the overall spending, and also treatment and services are among the highest in the world. Switzerland took a different approach to addressing the drug-related challenges by monitoring the supply of narcotics to the medically dependent without authorizing drug. The policy has led to increased toxicity management, a decrease in the rate of drug overdose, and improvement in public protection.
Hi, my name is MARINI with Deputy JAFFREY. I am from AM1103J and I will explain about how Switzerland control their inflation rate. So, as we know, inflation has both good and bad sides. Inflation is the decrease in a given currency's buying power over time. A quantitative estimation of the rate at which of the reduction in buying power occurs can be reflected in the increase over time of the average price level of the selected basket of goods. In services in economy, the increase in the general price level, often expressed as percentage, means that a currency unit essentially buys less than it did in previous time. In order to live in a comfortable life, individuals have to a wide and diversified range of goods as well as host of services. They include goods such as food, grains, metal and fuel, electricity, transportation, utilities, and services such as healthcare, entertainment and labor. Inflation can be viewed as either a positive and a bad thing. For instance, an individual with currency price tangible assets such as property or stock goods would like to see some inflation as it increases the price of their assets that they can sell at a higher rate. However, as they would be expected to pay out more capital, the buyers of such assets will not be satisfied with inflation. So the first way is the Swiss National Bank (SNB) changed its monetary stance policy at the beginning of the year 2000, plain inflation outlook now. Instead of using a medium-term target direction for the monetary base in monetary policy decisions, it acts as the key predictor. The SNB has at the organizational stage the 3-month Labour London interbank offer rate was adopted as its new benchmark interest rate and as the new reference interest rate. In terms of the goal range for this, the expected monetary policy position is conveyed to the public. In view of this adaptation notion, a sort of basis in Switzerland, the goal of monetary policy is to ensure price stability, which is defined by the SNB as increasing prices less than 2% per annum in consumer prices. Historically speaking, an inflation rate similar to the SNB has been reached by the SNB. The range midpoint that is 1% is this goal significantly below the targets of the central banks, and the SNB has gained an outstanding reputation over time. Maintenance of market stability.
Okay, my name is Muhammad IZZUDIN bin AFFANDI and my matrix number is 2019-255342 and I'm from class 3J. Today I will talk about the unemployment of Switzerland and way to overcome it. Following the COVID-19 pandemic, the effect of the lockdown that came into effect on the Swiss labour market on 16 March 2020 appears to be drastic. In March and April, nearly 30,000 workers lost their position in average. The jobless percentage grew in just 2 months to nearly as high as it rose in all of 2010 after the economic crisis. Switzerland has endured 7 significant downturns in unemployment over the past 100 or so years, where figures are available on employment. The first was in the early 20s when, in order to finance World War II, inducing deficits to return to the old gold standard, the Swiss Central Bank agreed to shatter down the inflation stemming from the abolition of gold standards. The next major downturn was a double-dip slump in the early 1990s. The first turnaround came out of a rigid monetary policy to curb high inflation as a result of the sudden currency growth of Swiss bank new electronic interbank clearing structures and liquidity requirements. In the other hand, in 1994 and 95, the second contraction was followed by a misreading of the business cycle and an over-restrictive monetary policy of the Swiss Central Bank. The combined shock contributed to an increase in the unemployment rate to over 4.5%, most recently during the Great Depression. In turn, this drastic spike is due to a rise in unemployment insurance and increasingly sedentary foreign jobs. Next is way to overcome unemployment. First is monetary policy. Extended monetary policy is a good method as it's simple, effective, and solid. The Federal Reserve must have an extensive monetary policy if, as outlined above, interest rates are lower, consumers are encouraged to purchase a car, expensive goods even more cheaply. Thus, interest rates enable business to borrow at lower rates and often allow them to hire employees to meet increasing demands. Next is fiscal policy. To get started, an expansionary fiscal policy is slower than monetary policy. It takes time for the next measure to be decided by Congress and the President, but once executed, it can be more efficient. It also gives much needed confidence that things will be turned around by the government. To convince individuals to invest now for a better future, confidence is the key. Tax reform works like reducing interest rates, both generate more resources for firms and customers to invest. The heightened demand give corporation more money to buy to recruit more people. That's all for me. Thank you.
In a conclusion, Switzerland consists a good diversity of landscape and climate on a limited area. The population is 8 million, leading to a median population mass. For example, a nation called Plateau is located on the northern part of the country that have more population. It has larger open hilly views, some forests, usually with animals. Switzerland has more than 1,500 lakes and contains Europe's supply of clear water. For example, in western Switzerland, share the lake with France. The Rhone is the most source and outflow of lake. It ranked the world's 12th largest economy by nominal GDP. The district of Zurich and Geneva are considered global city. Switzerland's most important economic sector is manufacturing. Manufacturing mostly of specialist chemicals, health and pharmacy goods, scientific and precision measuring instruments, and musical instruments. Another significant industry for Switzerland is their specialty of service for banking and insurance, tourism and international organization. In 2016, median monthly gross in Switzerland was 10,000. It ranked the world's 12th largest economy by nominal GDP. The district of Zurich and Geneva are considered global cities. Switzerland's most important economic sector is manufacturing. Manufacturing consists mostly of specialist chemicals, health and pharmaceutical goods, scientific and precision measuring instrument, and musical instrument. Another significant industry for Switzerland is their specialty of service banking for banking and insurance. It ranked the world's 12th largest economy by nominal GDP. The district of Zurich and Geneva are considered global city. Switzerland's most important economy is manufacturing. Manufacturing consists mostly of special chemicals, health and pharmaceutical goods, scientific and precision measuring instrument, and musical instrument. Another significant industry for Switzerland is the specialty of service for banking and insurance, tourism, and international organization. In 2016, median monthly gross salary in Switzerland was 6,597 per month. Is enough to refund the cost of living to pay expenses. The standard household was about 15% of its gross income left for saving. That's all from us. Thank you.